So, two things we're gonna need is this gravitational modulating unit, which honestly, HDPE. So let's go ahead and look at the mechanism mod. So I think we're gonna actually have to go to the mechanism reactors, and oh my goodness, there are more multi-blocks. But honestly, that's okay. Not too worried about it. I definitely think that we're gonna need a lot more space as far as our base. I think we're definitely gonna need to like expand a lot more than we already have. I think a lot of what we're gonna expand on though, it's probably gonna be like we'll put underneath here. Like I don't even think we need this pneumatic craft setup anymore. So we'll probably destroy that and leave like all this space for the modern industrialization stuff, and then maybe I'll start building this mechanism stuff up here. But let's get started on the mechanism. So one thing I did see that we're going to need are these HDPE sheets, and we need these HDPE pellets. To get that and to get the pellets, we need the substrate, and then we need oxygen and liquid ethene, and this is going to be very interesting. So one thing as we start diving into the mechanism that I want to build is this digital miner, because right now I realize we haven't been utilizing the mining dimension like at all. And what I want to do is actually place this digital miner there to like mine up different ores for me and just collect them. So we already have vibranium ingots and the basic control circuits, but we pretty much need all this other stuff. So we can easily craft, should be able to craft most of this. We're gonna need more atomic alloys, so we can actually craft those up pretty easily. And as we're making some more alloys, I want to craft up some energy upgrades, and we'll just let that sit for a little bit while we continue to craft the rest of this. And then we need to make some refined obsidian ingots, so we do some refined obsidian dust in the top and osmium in the bottom. Now we just need to craft up some of the atomic alloys, and we're just going to keep feeding in this refined obsidian dust. We actually should have enriched it before putting it in there, but I think that's alright for right now. But we got the refined obsidian ingots. Just need to put it through the metallurgic infuser with the enriched diamonds, and we'll just have that going until we run out of enriched diamond. Then we can actually take the refined obsidian, see if we put it in the enrichment chamber, we can still, but to make it into the ingots we actually can't do that, but I believe we can just enrich some of this. We can have some enriched on standby, and then we can put it in our metallurgic infuser later when we want to make these reinforced alloys into atomic alloys. And real quick, I'm actually going to redo the power for these, just because I think that I'd rather have this all set up a little bit more optimized. I think what we're gonna do, break all these, and what we're gonna do is have all of them pick up all this, and we'll have them this 2, 3, 4. A fluid extractor, and that should be all good now. Alright, and that's connected. Now we just need some acacia logs. Put those there, and we'll just come back here every once in a while and switch those out. I don't know how much more plastic we're gonna need. We'll replant these saplings. And let's go check on this now. Now if we put in the enriched obsidian, put the reinforced alloys in, then it should be a lot more efficient. Alright, and we're going to place some muffling upgrades on these 4. We already placed one on this osmium compressor, but we need 4 more, just so we can make that a little bit quieter. And we'll place those on. Now these will all be quiet. And now for the digital miner, we just need teleportation core and the robot. For that we just need a personal chest. Now we got the robot. Put this stuff here. Put this stuff in our inventory, so just in case we haven't gotten an achievement for it. And now now we got a digital miner. Alright, and then the digital miner is going to need a source of power. So what I wanted to do was build an ender gate. We need an eye of ender, a dielectric casing, and basic capacitor tiny. We need 2 of those. Eye of ender, dielectric casing, 2 of those, 2 capacitors that are tiny. And then we need to energize it. And it looks like we just got everything to pop up our power that we did. That gave me some more stuff. Alright, so we'll throw all this in the energizing orb. And we got 2 ender cores. Now that we got the 2 ender cores, we can craft 4 nitro ender gates. And I'm actually not sure how you use these. I believe you can just place them like this, and we'll put it like so on the let's try to place, let's go to the mining dimension, turn on our trunk grid, place this bad boy down. Why is that like not able to be centered? And put the ender gate there. I think that's how that works. I'm not sure though. And then we can put like, throw another right chest on top, and we'll craft up some stack upgrades, put those in here. And then I believe we just have to configure this. Alright, so now we're gonna go to the digital miner in the configuration and just set these to the max. Alright, and then we're just going to filter, let's do like star ores. Maybe not ores, let's try, yeah, let's do that. C, and then the 2 dots, and then ores, and that will mine up every single type of ore pretty much that's in here. And we'll go back, we'll turn on silk touch mode, and we can put some speed upgrades and some energy upgrades into this. And I don't think the ender gate is actually giving this power right now, so let's try to go back and see if we can fix that. It looks like we're actually gonna have to need to craft an ender cell in order to use the ender gate. Let's place this down, say right here, and we'll place the ender gate on the side there. It doesn't seem like that's actually being fed power. Transfer energy between the adjacent block and the ender network. So one thing I missed was that these actually need batteries. So now we should be able to configure this to receive. We should be extracting from there, and then maybe, I'm not really sure. Let's see if that's doing right. So I think that's getting, it looks like it's getting power, and we just need it to bowl. I wanted to configure this a little bit. We can take some pipe, this, put the upgrades in there. Oh my goodness, I'm not sure why that did that. Alright, so we got the digital miner set up, and it's extracting all the ores here, and we'll just come check on it every once in a while. It's got 2 stack upgrades in it, so it should be able to fill up a lot. So we'll just leave this here for a while we continue to do some more stuff. Alright, so I'm going to get started on building some of these. We're going to build this electrolytic separator. We're going to need some terracotta, so we're going to go collect some of that. And in order to find that, we're going to need a compass to take us to the Badlands. And it's 2,000 blocks away. Let's get started going that way. And here we are, we made it to the Badlands. And we just need some terracotta, or we're just going to mine up a bunch of them. I just realized there's a way we can get terracotta pretty easily. We could have just done it from the base actually, but what we do is take this recipe for the clay balls. We could take this recipe for clay balls, and then you can actually make the clay balls into clay blocks, and then you can smelt clay blocks down into terracotta, and we can make blocks, and like if we take a stack of them and put them in here, it smelts it down to terracotta. So we have a way to do that passively. I didn't even realize that. Didn't even have to go anywhere. So once we have the terracotta, we just need a water bucket, and we can make a sink. Just place that down over there for now. And after we get the sink, we can make a purification chamber. And in order to do that, we need another enrichment chamber. Place that down right there. And now, so we can use the crusher now to make biofuel. So earlier I planted down some pumpkin seeds up here, and I can just harvest these up, harvest up the pumpkins, and we can just keep farming pumpkins like this. And I keep destroying the seeds. But after you get some pumpkins, you can take them over here and throw them in the crusher, and we'll get some biofuel. And then with that biofuel, so we can take the iron clumps and put them in the crusher, and we can make dirty iron dust. We can then put in the enrichment chamber to make regular iron dust. Use that iron dust, iron ingots. So we can already make iron ingots, so I'm not really worried about any of that stuff. Let's craft up some more sulfur seeds because we're gonna need it for the mechanism setup. So we're gonna start getting everything set up on this side. We're gonna start with the sink, and we're gonna have it running water into the electrolytic separator. And the next thing we're gonna need is the chemical oxidizer. So we're gonna put that here, and we are going to be utilizing a wireless connector to feed items into this. We're going to be feeding sulfur into it. So we're going to start off by feeding sulfur into the chemical oxidizer to make sulfur dioxide. We're going to craft up a chemical infuser. Alright, so we set up the electrolytic separator, and the oxygen from there is getting fed into the chemical infuser, and that being combined with the sulfur dioxide from here is making sulfur trioxide. Alright, so now we got the sulfur dioxide feeding into our ME system, and then we're going to, I think we actually need to rotate this. So now we have the sulfur trioxide being automated now after some configurations, and now we can keep going. Now we need the rotary condensator, and this one we're also going to feed water into. I'm gonna go ahead and just build another sink. Oh, and it's not connected to power, so should. Alright, now we got the decondensating set up, and we're going to turn the water that's getting fed into here into water vapor. The next thing we need is a chemical infuser. Let's go ahead and make that real quick. We're going to export the water vapor and the sulfur trioxide, and it will make sulfuric acid. So now if we check our ME system, you can see that we're getting sulfuric acid, and then we'll just hit that with all the upgrades. Now that will be going a lot faster. So the next thing we're going to need is a chemical dissolution chamber, and this one might take us a minute to actually craft because there's some more expensive items in here. We need to craft some more control circuits, so let's craft those up. And we got the chemical dissolution chamber. Place that down, hook it up to power, set up our import export, and we're going to be feeding this fluorite. Figure the sulfuric acid as well. Go to chemicals and switch the export bus to input and import bus to output. Now we should be getting the sulfuric acid in there, and the fluorite's getting fueled, and now we're creating hydrofluoric acid. And we'll add our acceleration cards and add our speed upgrade, energy, and muffling. So now this is going very, very fast. We can move on to the next. Now we need an enriching factory. And in order to make this, we need that, boom, boom. We need a lot more alloys. Alright, so for the enriching factory, we just need some elite control circuits. And finally, we just needed that. So now we have the enriching factory. Place that down, connect it to power, and we'll set up boom, boom. And we'll do input output. We will feed uranium in the export bus. So that's interesting. It looks like there's two different types of uranium ingots. So I wonder, let's see. So they both make yellow cake uranium. So I think we'll just use the Mekanism one, because that's what we have. That's what we have seeds for. So let's craft 2,000 of them. We'll throw in our cards, take these out, put those back in, and then we will speed this up and muffle it. Now this should be going super fast, and we should be getting a ton of yellow cake uranium. And then what we're gonna do is route this over here and start setting up some more. So now we're going to make another chemical oxidizer that this is going to be sent to, and we need to go place these fluoride seeds down. Tier 4, where is our fluoride? Alright, got the fluoride going. Chemical oxidizer, and we want yellow cake uranium. Alright, now we are making uranium oxide, and then we are going to make one more chemical fuser. Actually, move this and actually put all this stuff over here, just because we need the oxidizer and the infuser. So let's get these hooked up now using fluix cable. Alright, now we're combining the uranium oxide with the hydrofluoric acid, and we're making uranium hexafluoride, which we're going to put inside of this isotropic centrifuge. Holy moly. I'm doing like straight chemistry right now. Now we need to filter the uranium hexafluoride through the export bus, filter that into there, make fissile fuel, and have it outputting like that. Now we're making a bunch of fissile fuel that's now getting imported into our ME system. And that's where we're going to end off the video. And in the next episode, we'll be building the pressurized reaction chamber and making the antimatter pellets. If you're confused or would like to see more on the fissile fuel automation, please let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. And if you're enjoying the series so far, feel free to subscribe and follow the rest of the journey. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.